that means.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Morning.
What?
Forgot a go live tweet, but that's okay. You're all here. I got something in
Gotcha.
my eye. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Welcome to our 7th episode of this first season of Dragon Age.
Oh no, you just gave away the show. Sorry. The first season thing.
Well, yes. I also tweeted about it.
Oh, I didn't see
in
because
the
I was
announcement. Yeah.
sad.
But yes, we're going to be coming back for a second season later this summer. We'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Yes.
I'm going to be playing Harold, the Elven Grey Warden. I have with me an amazing cast of people. We will get to them in a moment, but first I would just like to thank all of our sponsors. Magen Press, maker of 5th edition D&D supplements. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com or in the panel down below. If you use code WanderingDM, you get 15% off everything that you purchase, and that includes the new book, Fantastical Felines, which is a book all about cats, cat monsters, and cat pun-based monsters. Check them out if you're interested into some hilarity in your D&D adventures. Next up, our other sponsors is Found Familiar, the coffee company. I just bit into a coffee bean right before the show and made the weirdest face in the world because half my face decided to
Was
become
it
paralyzed.
like chocolate covered or were you just like eating a bean?
I was just eating a bean and I went like
But
for
Why
a
don't
Simon,
couple
you
of minutes.
get a bean and demonstrate for us, actually?
We've reached that stage of quarantine.
go get a bean.
I am not biting a bean again.
But I think
Good.
you should for science.
Yeah, sure.
For science, I agree.
We'll see about that at break. And our other sponsor is Roll20, the virtual tabletop that we've been using for all of our games here at Wandering DM. You can check them out with the panels down below. And last but not least is our partners through the Diceomancy program. We are so close to a second level. If you would just like to, if you want to buy new dice that are made out of stone, semi-precious stone, or metal, check out Level Up Dice. They're our partners. There's a purple torch down below or the link in chat. It's without further ado, go
I'm
around
trying
the
to get
table.
my dice bag open to show my level up dice and I just couldn't get it open
Quick.
because apparently I'm
That's
hurrying.
That's okay. I got them, I think, sort of.
I
But
think-
they
Oh,
Stuff.
put
Ellie,
them a
show
little
yours
higher,
too.
Tanya.
This
Yep.
one and the one that Pirate Jesus is going to steal from me because it's purple, and then he's going to steal that one from me because it's pink. I need that pink. So I actually have 3 level up dice that I'm going to be allowed to keep, and
And then everything else he's gonna take them.
he likes purple and pink a lot. Yeah, and gold.
That's
Marriage,
it.
50-50.
Let's go around the table. Tell us who you
60,
are.
40?
Who you'll be playing. And let's do clockwise, so that way we'll finish with Tanya, our GM, and she can take us away into the world of Dragon Age.
Oh, hey y'all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Praxagorth as me for you see me around on Twitch, and I get to play Verisa, the sneaky, stabby bitch who, you know, just knows everything. And doesn't always talk about it. But it's fine. It'll be good. I play one of our 2 Dalish elves. And possibly the slightly better adjusted at the moment one? Question mark.
Wow. Just starting out with
I didn't impale someone in the middle of the High Inquisitor's Grand Hall last time.
He had
That's
it
your
coming.
keeper, by the way.
He had it
That's
coming.
true.
That's your keeper.
Hey, Andrew, your turn.
Oh, hi, I'm Andrew, at Anderful1 on Twitter, and I'm playing Bestia, our strong, typically silent Ferelden warrior, and he's a little vexed right now with with some of the events of the end of last game, so it's going to be interesting to get things kicked off, and yeah. Kelly, go for it.
I'd go for what? Oh, introductions. Okay. Hi, I'm Kelly, the Opera Geek. I play Mavia, who is apparently everybody's bacon-loving, dirty song-singing dwarf bard, who is currently nowhere to be found after standing up to Fenris in front of everybody and scaring the crap out of herself. And this is apparently the canine version of Wilford Brimley, who is going to be sitting on my lap and desperately needs a haircut.
But you brought your own Mabari. It's cute.
I did, but he's too small to do anything or be of use.
He's a Mabari puppy.
He is. And now he's frozen in place like this. what are you doing? All right, bud. Who's next? Eugenio.
Hello, I'm Eugenio, also known as DM Jazzy Hands. I will be playing Solanus, the other Dalish elf, who might have taken it upon himself to speed along the pronounced execution of a very, very bad man. And also who had a very cathartic moment when he sped along that execution that he's been bottling up for a long, long time. So we'll just see how that goes.
Oh, that would be me next.
Oh, wait. Before you start, can I just say, because
Uh-oh.
we might as well go off the rails right in the intros.
Oh, shit.
My internet
Yes.
just froze completely.
Good.
And the last thing I heard was something about Zalanis was a bit of an and I was like, what? He was a bit of a
Well,
what?
Fill in the blank. I'm sure you won't be wrong.
Is it also too early to say that Zalanis was not the only person to never mind impale people? Never mind, I'm not doing that. You go away.
Well, we haven't got to that. That's where we left off.
I haven't done
Let
anything
poor
yet.
Tanya introduce herself.
I'm just like, I just showed up. They keep letting me come back. I'm Tanya. I'm your GM. I'll be playing all our NPCs. Mainly Fenris, our Inquisitor, who may be looking to impale people as well this week. Who knows? Let's see what happens. I'm sorry. We're just off the rails early.
I mean, every time the horses walk behind you, I think Genki just got really big.
No, Genki is sitting next to me and sulking. He is a grumpy old man. He is 20 years old, and I think he's just cold and grumpy. He is a very
I know that feel.
angry old cat. But as we started doing, what did everyone get up to last week before we hop into this week's shenaniganry?
Well?
Oh.
No, please go ahead.
I
Oh,
was just
please.
gonna
I mean,
say
you got up to some. Yeah.
a platter of meat, silk sheet,
Is that what we're calling it now?
a rose,
Well, it's what he ordered though.
and a
He
bottle of
Thorny
wine.
on Maine. Let us not forget Thorny on Maine. Hashtag Thorny on Maine.
I only those 4 items is all I'm going to say about what happened with Harold last time.
And apparently
Wow.
a bathtub shaped like a champagne glass
Yes,
in the
yes,
Poconos.
because Tanya had never heard of the champagne glass bathtub in the Poconos. So
And I was fine not knowing about that.
Were you though? I think everyone needs to see that.
did
at
you
least
not
once.
appreciate all those very awkward photoshopped couples in the bathtubs?
Moving on. Verisa was going to say something.
Oh, Verisa was just sneaky all over the place. And that was the thing. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
saved a
sure.
wine decanter and flirted with Zevran.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that suddenly there's a wine decanter back on the balcony.
You know, it was crystal. There was alcohol in it. There's no reason for that to just go flying off into a waterfall. Even if, you know, Fenris was using it to gesture and express his displeasure at finding out that Blackwell was a fraud.
Well, yes. And we still have to resolve that at some point, if not tonight, then soon. Bastian, what did you get up to? You had an interesting week last week.
Yeah, I started off with a conversation with Mavia when we got back to Skyhold, and we talked about Druffalo, and then how it was easier for us to get back to the keep because, of course, the Iron Bull and Mavia just got rid of everything in our path and all of those bandits, and that suffered greatly. Then I think we skip ahead to the trial of the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
where, of course, Zalanis had a reaction, of course, to what was being said and done, and it vexed Bastia. It just wasn't what he was anticipating could, should, or would have happened, and therefore he, frustrated, left the court after the event, which I'll leave Eugenio to fill in the blank. That's pretty much what Bastien got up to, and where he's
Well,
at right now.
let's see. So as we continue to allude to, we brought the mayor of Crestwood back, and he was tried and found guilty of being just awful and sentenced to death. And Solanas just jumped on it in a sort of moment of some might say misdirected fury. I just say delayed fury. He called upon the powers of magic and his powers as a keeper and cast a spell called Wrath of the Elven, which is available only to keepers of Dalish clans, that calls upon the very earth and stones and plants to bind and harm one's foes. Unfortunately, he did it in the middle of court and took care of the execution of the mayor himself. And then sort of fled the scene afterwards to go have some
You made a
feels.
mess. It was very messy, as I
I
recall.
did. In retrospect, I could have stuck around to at least clean some of it up.
Like, just mop it up. Like,
I know. I'll feel bad about it later.
you made the mess.
I know. Well, I mean, on the other hand, though, like, there are people that probably didn't. I'm sure there were other things that went on in that space that would have kept me from being really particularly efficient at cleaning in that moment. Let's say that.
You don't have like a ShamWow that you carry in your outfit.
I don't think I have that spell. I really should.
Oh god, that would be a great spell to go with prestidigitation.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
All right. So that's where Zalanis left things, knowing full well that Fenris and others probably wouldn't be super pleased with the way that the sentence was carried out, but in the moment, there it was.
Nothing. I was trying so hard not to just. Mavia, what? There was
What?
what?
Mhm.
You had a moment of standing up for yourself, correct?
I kind of did. I think that was far less important than me teaching dirty songs to Bull, which was worth it. But yeah, Mavia stood up to Fenris in front of an entire hall of people, and that's not something she does. So she is now poof, nowhere to be gone. Nowhere to be gone, nowhere to be seen. She's definitely gone. Yes.
Okay, but gone as in just gone from the hall, not gone from Skyhold. Or you're not
Maybe.
telling. Okay. All right, so those are all the shenaniganry. We got everyone, right? Okay. So that is the shenaniganry, and I know that we ended with the platter of meat and the wine and the bathtub and the silk sheets, but we're not starting there this week. We're actually starting with Verisa and Zalanis, who, Verisa, tell us what you got up to once you left Fenris to his brooding and Harold whatever he was doing.
You know, the very obvious, like, Marisa can read a room. This is not something she wants to stick around for. Leave, sneak away. But she probably would have waited like 20 minutes, figured that total of like a couple hours for let Zalanis calm mostly down, and then tried to track him down, and then just like come up next to him.
Oh no.
Solana, suddenly you have a Verisa. What do you do?
Yeah.
It should be like kind of.
Verisa appeared.
I think it's one of those as like as you're walking back into Skyhold from where we left off last week, she's just like sitting by one of the doors waiting for you.
Okay.
Not interrupting, just waiting.
I mean, if you're waiting for when I start to return to Skyhold, then you know, I've had some time, which is good. Smart Verisa. So you know, I will clock you, and you know, there is the appropriate amount of shame there, but there's also sort of very obviously a lightness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will just sort of lock eyes with you and shrug and see what you have to say.
We're going to be cleaning up lots of messes, Keeper.
I suppose I did make rather a large one just now, didn't I?
I'm glad I don't have to clean it up. Let's put it that way.
Well, hopefully it will never be necessary for me to make such a mess again.
Remember that, Zalanis, I am here for you.
I know. But you remember what you did after our clan was taken from us. And we are different, and we have our roles to play. And that was not mine. To get revenge a year and a half ago or a few hours ago. And I realize that now. But I had to do something. It had been so long. I had forgotten what it was like to live without that kernel of fury in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And on some level, I regret what happened just now. But the practical side of me realizes that the end result was the same, mostly. And quite frankly, it's terrible to say, Verisa, but I've never felt better. Anyway, it's been some time since I felt like this. And the good news for you is that I remember who I am now and what I need to do and what is your job, what you are here for, what you are with me for.
Yes. I'm the hunter, Solanas. I make sure Hunter does two things, right? You provide and you distract. If the predator gets too close, then the hunter has failed.
And I am the keeper. I protect and I nurture. And sometimes, Verisa, that will take more violent forms than perhaps either of us is comfortable with.
It wasn't the violence, Zalanis.
No, I know. I promise. I understand the difference. And I will remember my role henceforth. But
Because
I hope...
No, go.
No, just I hope you understand. The rest, Fenris likely knows in his way. He has been through much, as has Harrow. The other two and the other courtiers of Fenris, perhaps they understand, perhaps they do not. But it is important to me that you understand. Not agree, but understand.
I understand, Zalanis. I just want to make sure You think that what I was doing for the last year and a half was only revenge. It wasn't. Revenge is a start. I walked much further down that path.
Hmm.
And if you draw the wrong attention on that path, someone might come to you asking for you the same thing that they asked of me. And you don't want to go that way, Solanas.
No. No, I don't. I suppose I should thank you, Varisa. We each have our roles to play, but in my anger, and quite frankly, my anxiety at the role that I was forced into very suddenly, it never occurred to me how deeply difficult your road must have been as well.
Then I did my job.
I suppose you did.
But if you are feeling less like you're going to rip apart an entire building and show off in front of the Shem,
Oh no, was the damage terrible?
pan to an image of Gregory with like 6 or 7 6-foot spikes going through him, and
Have you ever seen a Jackson Pollock painting?
Oh God.
because that would have happened. And this one servant just kind of with a mop and bucket looking at him going, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. I pan back to Barisa going, I mean, if you wanted to definitely inform everyone in Skyhold that you are the scariest person to be around.
Yeah, well, it makes your job easier. If they're afraid of me, they probably won't try and kill me.
Some of them, and then there's the others who...
I know. I will try my best not to gain the wrong type of attention for the remainder of our time here.
Yes, you say that.
I said I would try.
You owe me a drink for this.
Yes, I do. Shall we?
Yes.
All right.
And she'd like start leading him up to the Herald's Rest and then just kind of look over her shoulder and like shake her head.
Wow. So player's choice. Do you want to see what Harold's up to, or do we want to check in on poor Mavia?
Oh.
Mm.
Well, I suppose, Mavia, do you have a preference? We should ask you first.
I think both Kelly and Mavia might be happy with the 1980s Showtime pixelated version of
Oh man, old school Showtime.
right? Like when you kept flipping the channels, but you didn't have cable, so all you got was static, and you're like, I think I can see a butt. But that's
Oh my
like,
God.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Feels
yes, for people in the chat, this is what it was like before the internet. Okay.
wow.
It doesn't matter to me, honestly.
Wow.
I feel like that just dated all of us terribly.
Really?
Yep.
Listen, yeah.
Well, now I want to know what's up with Mavia, because she's
Yep.
on a roll. Kelly's on a roll. Oh, shit.
Kelly's working on like 2 hours of sleep in the past 36.
Oh, I definitely
So-
want to know what Mavia's up to then.
Oh, this is going to be real interesting now. So Mavia, what have you been doing since you like scared yourself?
She didn't scare herself out of the hall.
Well, by standing up to Fenris.
I mean, she scared herself standing up to Fenris, and then she just kind of stood there until I believe it was Bastien took over and started talking, so that she kind of could back away. But standing up to Fenris was not what scared her out of the hall.
Okay. So what did scare her out of the hall, and where is Mavia now? Tell us.
Um, she wasn't scared out of the hall by Zelanis's justice, as it were, because I mean she understood that much. But she was scared out of the hall by seeing Zelanis's justice, as it were.
That's fair.
So she skittered up, and somebody probably they could have caught sight of her just skittering up the stairs towards where she has been staying, without a step stool, might I add.
All right. So once you got back to your room, did you actually like try to so what did you do once you were back in your room? So I'm curious to what Mavia would have done now that she's like alone and she's like coming down off the adrenaline of that moment.
She started packing.
Oh, okay. So
because that is her solution
to run away,
to seeing things like she saw, is to run.
Okay. While you are packing, there is a knock on the door.
She slides under the bed.
So you're just not gonna be like, nope.
She's under the bed. Yep. I mean these beds are probably pretty tall. So yeah, she slides under the bed. It's probably like dust bunnies from like 4 decades ago under there. God,
more. It is an ancient elven fortress.
Mm.
Yeah, and there was the bare minimum, like when you know your friend is coming to stay, but you don't want to do too much cleaning. It was that level of cleaning before you all got rooms.
I think at some point someone will mention this, and Josephine will just go on a tangent, a rant about how the servants never do anything, and I gave orders for things to be clean.
Yeah.
And what the hell?
And I would put a mop and bucket in her hands, just saying.
And she probably remember she tried to be a bard. She might murder you.
Well, I don't remember that she tried to be a bard, but now I know she failed. So that's that's fine.
Maybe it wasn't killed by Fenris. She was killed by Josephine with that pen in the night. That's what happened.
But yes, Mavia would have slid under the bed, like yanking the blanket down with her.
Oh.
Because it's the age old, the boogeyman can't get you if you're under the blanket. Which is why I always liked the Terry Pratchett thing of putting the blanket over the boogeyman, because then he has existential uncertainty over whether he exists or not. It's a good one. Anyway, maybe is under the bed, possibly with the blanket.
All right. So who's at the door?
That would be Bastion, and he's knocking on the door, and he's gonna call out and just, Mavia, are you in there?
No.
Mavia. I know you're there.
No, you don't. Go away.
Not going away.
Go away.
Gonna come in, okay?
No.
Why are you
Maybe
indecent?
Not here. Am I indecent? You can't give me a lead up like that in an emotional moment, because then of course I'm gonna say, of course I'm not decent. Anyway, nobody named Mavia here. Go away. I am the maid. I'm making the bed.
Bastion is just gonna open the door.
There's a chair put up against it.
When the door doesn't open, he's gonna break it down. Because he's pissed.
Good job. I muted myself and then started talking. I was like, you're breaking down this door in a fortress
that's been there for like a long time.
Do I strength roll here?
No, you know, you probably have to like get permission from like the historical society before you do that.
There are people living in it. No one cares about that.
You put cable in a New York walk-up. You have to like
Oh
call
my
them
God.
first.
I want a strength check, and I'm going to give you a degree of what you get done based on this strength check, because it is a solid wood door.
Okay. Let's see.
Now the question is, maybe did you lock the door?
She can't reach the lock. That's why she put the chair there.
Okay, just checking. Roll for it. Roll a strength check.
That's 18.
Oh, you not only open the door, you realize it's not locked as you like go to boot the door, and you like go tumbling in and almost like land on the bed because you put all your weight into opening this door, and it was simply unlocked had you tried the handle.
Bastion is just gonna get up and look around at the room. I'm assuming Mavia is still under the bed.
You
Yes,
don't know
with
that.
her- Well, you pulled the blanket with you.
I started to pull the blanket, but all you see, the place is a mess. Like you see her bags are open and like stuff is half hanging out of the bags. The window's open, like she considered it as an option and then looked out and considered it was no longer an option.
Okay.
Because I, Kelly, who have not played this game, am assuming the window and Skyhold would not be an option for escape. In general. Possibly. If I wanted to live. Tanya's not answering me.
Correct. You would not do well if you jumped out the window. Skyhold is very tall.
I'm
as
very
you saw
small.
by the beds. It is a very tall fortress.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is discrimination.
Kelly.
Maybe are you under the bed?
No.
Fine. Bastion is just gonna sit on the end of the bed, but like kind of away from Mavia, so if she wants to get out from under the bed, she has like space to get out, and doesn't feel trapped. And are you okay?
I'm fine.
I mean, it took a lot to stand in front of Fenris like that and make your point. When you ran off, I wanted to come and check on you and make sure you were okay.
To be fair, he probably doesn't really know who I am anyway.
I don't think that's the point, though.
And besides, Sylvanas distracted everybody.
True. Not quite what I would have preferred for that mayor, but
I don't
did
know.
was pretty efficient at it. What are you up to right now? Your stuff's all over the place, and it looks like you're. Are you trying to pack?
A hero should always be ready to take a new job.
But we're not done this one.
I mean, that seemed pretty final.
For the mayor, not for us.
Bastion. And she like starts crawling up the she comes comes out from under the bed and just kind of, you just see like the top of her face over the edge of the mattress. I'm not even supposed to be here.
All right. So,
The letter was for some guy named Ragnar. He just got really drunk. And I figured if I tore the top off the letter, it would look like it was supposed to be for me.
why?
Because I needed to be far away and being a hero seemed like a good idea. And this was a job that seemed available. And it's a gig economy. You don't turn down a job.
Okay, so Mavia, who's not supposed to be here, why are you walking away from your job?
Because I don't really do anything. I'm pretty sure that between Veriza sneaking up on everybody, Harold calming down Fenris, and Zalanis stabbing people with trees, and you just like standing up there looking all super noble, I could probably sneak out. And to be fair, they've paid me in a lot of food.
But if you leave, then the food stops. And you kind of killed a demon. And you also got the Iron Bull wearing a hair ornament.
It looks very pretty.
I mean, if we want to measure accomplishments in life, you've got the Iron Bull wearing a hair ornament on his horn.
Everybody deserves to look pretty. He needed to look pretty. He was having a bad day.
And you were there for him.
Mostly because I don't think he had the mental fortitude to slap me into the wall. But the food's nice, I'll give you that. And she kind of starts like climbing up the blanket into the bed, like she's like a little rope. Because Josephine's bitch and never gave her stepping stool like she asked for like multiple times. I'm just saying. So she kind of climbs the blanket up into the bed. Where you're from, Bastian? What do your parents do?
Well, my father's a smith,
Mm,
and my mother is not with us anymore.
it happens. Did he make your armor?
No, my mother left us when I was younger and not by choice. It's one of the reasons why I do what I do and I stay out on the road.
You don't want to be there with your dad?
He's not quite himself since she passed. And I've been searching for the person responsible for that ever since.
And she'll just kind of like, she sits down near him and she reaches over and like pats him on the knee. It's like, these things happen.
Yeah,
You'll find him though.
that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Mavia? Where are you really from?
I'm from Orgrimmar. Orgrimmar? Is that the name of the place?
Orzammar.
Orzammar! Orzammar is World of Warcraft. Yeah, I used to play the Horde a lot. Anyway, go on. I'm from Orzammar.
And your family?
I'm from Orzammar.
That bad, eh?
The bacon's definitely not very good.
I guess it isn't. So,
And I definitely didn't want to stay.
the bacon's good here.
It is. But I've been without bacon before.
I think we've all had our time without bacon. I mean, supply and demand, and there aren't always pigs around for the slaughter, but
I
don't
mean,
think-
I'll be okay if I go. It's
You might-
okay.
you might be okay, but will you be happy?
Happiness is that's something that you want when you're a kid. It's something you think is going to happen when you're a kid. And then you grow up. And you're just content to have bacon. I mean, I don't know what we're even supposed to do. I probably shouldn't have taken the map.
Map?
What map?
What map?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Should I be looking for a map now?
it depends on how good your perception is.
Call me on the worst possible stat. Bastion is just gonna look around, try to look around discreetly, which is of course gonna fail. He couldn't be discreet if his life depended on it. And see if he sees a map, which perception, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, how bad was it?
13.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but you'll see what you think is the map Mavia is talking about, but upon further inspection, it's actually a framed piece of fabric made to look like a map, because a real map costs too much money and too much time to just randomly decorate in rooms that no one uses. So it's a very good facsimile and is very decorative, but not an actual map. But you find this, and I mean, it's not like you're a cartographer, but you know that's not like a, hey, we can use this to find places map.
Bastion is just gonna shrug off the map thing
You
for
tell
now.
me he like looks at the one on the wall and goes, aha.
Yeah, it's kind of where he's going, but he wants to focus more on Mavia than the map on the wall. You know, Mavia, I think that you're just not giving yourself anywhere near enough credit for what you do and for how good you actually are, regardless of where you come from and what's happened to you. Weak people don't join a company like ours and defeat a demon and go through what we've seen, they just don't. It takes a certain strength of character to do what we do and remain ourselves in the process.
I think there's a lot of different kinds of demons, Bastian. And I don't think you're giving everybody enough credit.
Maybe.
Did you guys find the guy?
We found out that he was on his way here. Or at least to the area.
Seems dumb.
Well, it's not very clear what his motives are right now, and there's some questions to be answered. I think Verisa and Varric, is it Varric?
Yes.
Zevran.
Zevran, you're right. I'm sorry.
Zevran, sorry.
Yeah.
Had some conversations, and they're searching the immediate area now so that maybe we can find him and start getting some answers for the Inquisitor.
And she kind of sits on the edge of the bed and she kicks her feet a little bit and she looks over at her bags that are half packed, and then she kind of looks at Bastian. And she reaches up and grabs a pillow. And she holds the pillow. And did your letter say how much we're getting paid?
Did my letter say how much we're getting paid?
Your letter from the Inquisitor? No. But Josephine individually may have gone over terms of payment, provided you find Anders alive, find Anders dead, or don't find Anders at all. But you all are being compensated well for your effort and your time away from your normal.
I feel like Josephine maybe wouldn't have given that speech with Mavia. She would have been like, "Listen, you're lucky to be here." What's that feeling?
You would have been offered compensation, but not your compensation would have been commensurate with the experience that Josephine thinks you have, which isn't much. But it's also, you could be in that dungeon that leads into a waterfall.
I think we need to try out collective bargaining.
Oh my god. I almost want you to go to Josephine and try that, but that would be hilarious.
We've started a union. Well, I can't go back home. And to be honest, I'm not sure that the horse likes me. So she starts, like, she seems like she's fiddling with the edge of the pillow. And then just nervously, but then he hears a tearing noise. And she pulls out both halves of the map.
I see. The map.
It's a map. I don't know what it's a map for. And Bull said that because I tore it in half, that was probably going to be difficult. But I figure since we found it in the place where the other dude was hiding, maybe it's important.
Well, why don't we say we found this on the way back in the state it's in and have someone take a look at it?
Okay, but we should probably tell Bull first, because I don't think he's very good at lying.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's
I mean,
Let's
he
go.
did it.
Okay, let's go find Bull and take this and find someone to actually look at this properly. But Mavia,
Hmm.
no more leaving. No more running away.
I promise you'd never see me go.
That's kind of the sad part, because then I'd have to chase you and find you eventually.
You fell opening a door. I'm very
Bastion just
sad.
kind of gives her a look like, really, we're going to go there?
She's going to tell everybody. She's not. Don't worry. She's like, fine. I guess we should go downstairs.
We should. Do I get half the map?
Sure. Which half do you want?
I don't know. Which half do you want to keep?
I mean, there's the left half and the right half, or it could be the top half and the bottom half. Do you think we should tear it again into like 4 pieces?
No.
Because we could like give some to everybody. Because what if we show up and then everybody wants a map?
Well, too bad for them. We're not tearing up the map. Because
I do it
even though
just for poor Tanya's face. Oh god. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not sure which direction this map goes in, and I'm not actually sure that this was supposed to be an important piece of the plot anyway, but I'm going to pretend that it is. So would you like top left or bottom right?
I'll take bottom.
Funny, that's what Harold said too, and she'll hand the map off.
So Bastion is gonna be chuckling, of course.
Might I
and-
remind you, 2 hours of sleep. Okay.
I
I'm
don't
doing my
invite
best.
people to my streams just to be attacked like this, Kelly.
Someone please send that to Devin Rue.
No, please don't. And don't tell her I referred to the parts of a map as top, left, bottom, and right. Oh no.
I think this is a good spot for a break. A little earlier than normal, I know. But there's shenanigan planned. It'll be a short break because I think we all need some water or an adult or both. And also
The scary part is we are technically the adults.
But yes, we're just going to take a quick break a little earlier than normal, I know, but there's shenanigan planned for once. Your DM has plans. Like actually made plans way ahead of time. So go get some water, go hang out. And when we come back, we're going to see what Harold plans to do with this champagne bathtub and silk sheets, because I've been needing to know for a week. So see you in a few minutes.
Yes.
Wow. I
The
got
best.
all my buttons confused. Hello, everyone.
It was
As
all
long as you don't do that with Fenris. It's
I was about to
on
say.
and off.
Let me just mute them again. Hi everyone. I'm Simon. It's just you and I now, folks. The rest of the stream is currently muted. So how are you? They can say a whole bunch of stuff in the background, but there's no way that you can understand any of it. Which is, I think, staying Twilight. And now they're trying to figure out if they're actually muted or not, or something. I can hardly pay attention to what they're saying because I'm trying to talk over them. So that's kind of hard because they keep saying stuff that makes me... I am very distracted. So...
Wanna build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play. I never see you anymore. You fell right through my door. It's like
Yeah,
You
we're
what?
live.
Wait, what was that lyric?
You fell right through my door? I mean, there's an emotional attachment there. I have questions. Oh, look,
Oh.
we're not muted anymore because Simon's a dick. We love you, Simon.
Hi.
that was a professional singer who was eating a lot of ice cream with peanut butter.
So we were
Anyway.
we were playing a very serious game of
We should
in
do
a
that.
gritty dark world of dark fantasy.
We're not playing The Witcher.
Wait, what?
No, I'm just kidding. Hi, welcome back to Dating Simulator Fantasy.
So now that we're back and they have made me go break into the writer's tears whiskey, this is gonna be a real interesting remainder of this episode. But now that we're back, I want to transition over to Harold and whatever shenaniganry he's planning. Fenris, I believe, wandered off to get a bath while you ordered silk sheets and a plate of ham
Platter of meat, like general cold cuts or something.
and cheese.
And a
If
rose.
Mavia were there, she would let you know that silk sheets do not breathe. Just so you know.
Yes, but they're smooth to the touch.
So is like Jersey, and I mean it breathes better. I'm just like, and also if you're more concerned with the sheets and what's happening, maybe you've got a problem. Anyway, go on.
I gotta tell you the wild shit that just went through my brain because I forgot that Jersey's a material.
I was like, okay.
I would call Jersey a lot of things, but smooth to the touch just ain't one of them.
Just like, how do we get from like shenanigans to slandering a whole borough?
I don't know.
I mean, Jersey might as well just be a borough, but you know, it's
Well, isn't it a borough? Is it a state?
a state.
It's an actual state.
Oh my god.
Well, technically, New Jersey is a state, and Jersey is an island off of England, between England and France.
Yes, it had its own serial killer. Anyway, go on.
I don't know how we got here. I don't know. But Harold, the floor is yours.
I have a very Italian question about these cold cuts.
Oh
Oh
no.
god.
Did somebody take the time to roll them, each individual one, into a little thing on the platter?
Oh no, they need to be unrolled. It's
Oh
very.
God.
They need to be unrolled.
I just
The floor is yours, Harold.
So-
what is your plan?
While Fenris is in his bath, taking his time, Harold asked a servant to get a rose, a bottle of Grigio something, the shit that Fenris likes,
Grigio Pavali.
Grigio Pavali. I don't know why I had like Pinot Grigio in my head, but a bottle of Grigio Pavali, a platter of cold cuts, various meats, and silk sheets. And while Fenris is taking his bath, Harold is gonna come back into the room. Just get all the bed sheets off the bed. Start to take his clothes off as sneakily as possible. Sit down in a sort of half heroic, half sensual posture in the bed.
And what exactly kind of posture is that, Simon? Would you care to demonstrate?
I don't
Because
know. It's a fantasy game. Use your imagination. And no, I can't do that. I cannot, as a person, cannot do anything heroic. Or sensual, for that matter. It would be awkward and comical. That's all I can do. So, he sits in a half sensual, half heroic pose. Naked. Thank you. Wow, I'm taking clothes off my characters and people are throwing virtual currency at me. So he takes his time to unfasten his belt and starts gyrating his hips as he does so. Does that give me more bits? Does that? No? No other cheers? Okay. But yeah.
But it gives me a mute on my headset, so your mouth is moving, but
So,
I'm
yeah.
hearing nothing.
He gets naked and covers his privates with the bedsheet. And with
Not
the,
with the cold. Sorry.
and
Wait.
with the cold cuts on his chest makes a trail with an arrow pointing down. And in between his thighs is the bottle of Grigio Pavali. He's trying something he read in Varric's book. He's not so sure it's going to work. Wow. That was just like 5 gifted subs. Thank you! So yeah, so he poses like that. Covered in sticky meat. Waiting for Fenris to come out of the bath.
I'm trying not to just crack up. I'm so sorry. So you're in this pose for a few more minutes. And Fenris opens the door, walks out of the bath, and stops when he realizes what you've done and sees the pile of bedding. And he's just, for once in his life, kind of struck silent.
Oh, hey, warrior. I was looking for some strong arms to... Shit, I had the word in my mind earlier. Ah, shit! Now I ruined the mood because I forgot the word.
Pop
What
the
word are
cork.
No! It sounds like ravage.
Relieved.
Ravish.
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 To ravish me. Thank you. I was looking
And-
for some strong arms to ravish me. Just that.
I'm ravishing you before or after I eat the food.
I think the whole point is do it at the same. He just wipes the.
Stop! One, you're gonna get grease on the silk sheets. Those are not easy to come by from Orlais.
Oh, I was thinking that there would be so much more on these bed sheets anyway. No, does that no?
No, he's just like, he's doing a mental calculation of Josephine's gonna murder me for messing up silk sheets, but I've also got a decanter of oil on the bedside table. 6 of one, half dozen the other. He's doing like, almost like when you're playing Animal Crossing and your little person is like in their inventory.
Okay, I found this on the web. The Waterblade Animal Crossing animal.
My phone answered. My phone. Oh my God.
Wow.
And I didn't say the word either. It just answered me. Anyway, but you know, like in Animal Crossing, when you tilt your head and you're thinking on your inventory, that's what he looks like. And then he comes over and he like tips you backward off the bed. And he's like, oh, like he's gonna play along with this because you went to all this trouble, and he thinks it's both silly but also kind of cute. And then he just smiles and he kisses you on the forehead. He's like, hold that thought. Because he realizes if he didn't lock his door, also he remembers the decanter suddenly showing up on the balcony. So he makes sure all the doors are locked. And then he comes back over and like lets you lay back. And he pulls the towel off and lets it drop because he did at least have a towel on. He wasn't walking around totally naked, even though it's his room. And he crawls over you and starts to give you a kiss. What do you do?
Without breaking TOS or anything, I kiss him back with one of my hand moving from the back of his head down the length of his back. And then in between the two of us, and I get the bottle of Pinot out of between us, and I'm like, I think this might be better on the table.
All right, is that where we fade to black, or
That's
are you
where we fade to
intending
black.
are you intending for there to be a pre-shenanigan meal of these cold cuts you've gotten?
I mean, like, Harold did it, and like in the moment, for a split second, it was like, that probably could be sexy. And then like his brain sort of kicked into gear, and even he would not eat cold cuts off of a person. It's just, he's got a hairy chest, sort of. I don't know if elves are like, they have body
Elves
hair
are
or
not. Elves have body hair. They're not hairy like Hawk and Blackwall are hairy, but they have some body
But
hair.
there's still, yeah, so there's like hair and such, and now there's like grease marks on his chest, like in the shape of various cold cuts, and he doesn't really find that appealing. And like,
So the
a
cold
mental image flashed for like half a second of like, wow, with me, the cold cuts and Fenris were like a man sandwich. And
a manwich.
it's not like sexy at all. So yeah. Thank you, Wing Linus. I didn't need to know that necessarily.
I mean, there is Warden stamina to consider here.
But I'm gonna butch. We all know that that's how it works.
I wasn't gonna make you roll for it. You went to too much trouble for this shenaniganry.
Yeah, it's the thought that counts in this instance.
So question. This champagne type bathtub, is it supposed to be big enough to hold more than one person?
Yep.
You hear from the balcony of your room.
The bathtub is big enough for two.
I mean, technically, if you look at the Poconos, you could probably fit like 6 people in that thing. It's creepy.
I mean, no, I am not. I am giving you an option or a nudge if you would like to do more than just a 5-minute, hey, fade to black. There's an option of now that you've reconsidered cold cuts and feeling greasy and not in a fun way, there is that lovely tub in the other room.
Yeah, I think Harold would pull out of the kiss for a moment and look at Fenris and say, "My lord, I cannot present myself to you like this. I'm so dirty. I think I would need to be given a bath. What do you think?"
And he, for a split second, he's about to tell you to cut out that my lord bullshit, and he realizes what you're doing. I concur. You're a bit oily, and not in a fun way.
It wasn't such a. I'll have to tell Varric it's not a great idea.
And he just tilts his head. Did Varric put you up to this?
It was in one of his books.
Oh. His books are all fiction, just so we know.
But I figure an author must have done research prior to writing these things.
And he just puts a hand over your mouth. Varric and cold cuts and silk sheets are not anything I want to think of together in my life. Please stop. And he pulls his hand away. And he gives you like a very gentle kiss before standing up and offering you his hand.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And he leads you back to the bathing chamber for getting cleaned up and then getting dirty all over again.
Nice.
Before you just ruin those sheets with the carafe of oil that is on the bedside table.
It's okay. Josephine will never know.
Oh, she's going to know. And she's going to like give him an earful. He's not going to hear the end of how expensive silk sheets imported from Orlais are. Because they're ruined by the time you're done.
It's not like the Inquisition doesn't have funds to spend on silk sheets. Actually, why is the Inquisition spending funds on silk sheets? I feel like they could put their money elsewhere.
I mean, we do have people who sometimes visit that are very dainty about sleeping on regular cotton, shall we say.
The servant who brought me these sheets said he found them in the chamber of someone called Alistair, or whoever it is. I don't know who's coming over, but you know what? They're gonna have like wool sheets or something. I'm sure it'll be fine. Alistair doesn't sound like a noble name in any way, case, shape, or form. It's probably just a stable boy.
Yeah. As he's pulling you into the room and starting to fill the tub, because he did clean out the tub when he was done. Part of what took him so long. He gave you all the time to do this. He just smirks. He's like, "You do know who the King of Ferelden is, correct?"
Oh, I thought Alistair was a very common name.
No.
I heard he was a Grey Warden. He can sleep on the ground. I mean, I've done it a bunch of times. Builds character.
He just gives you a look like you're not helping yourself here.
You know, you should make me stop talking at some point, because I'm just gonna dig a hole deeper and deeper.
And what is it I should do to keep you from talking?
Well, the first thing you could...
You muted yourself.
And then you can probably also do this and that to me, and then I'm gonna try to not mouth things. Oh no, this time it didn't work.
And he just shakes his head at you. And he's like, "In the bath. Just get in the bath." And he pours in some oils and soaps and gets in with you. And I think this is a safe place to, unless you want to have a conversation or unless you just want to go for the gusto.
The more you let me talk, Tanya, the more I'm gonna ruin the mood.
You're not ruining the mood. I mean, you could just, like a lot of movies, you just sink under the bubbles and go from there.
Yep.
All right. That is a good place to leave you and Fenris to get clean again, and then dirty, and then clean. While you've been doing these things, and each other, everyone has been making their way to the Herald's Rest. Except for Bastian and Mavia, you're not there yet. You are looking for Bull. So you can talk about this map and maybe see if Bull knows some way to fix a map somehow. So you look around and no one has seemed to seen Bull since he was seen leaving the main hall. You can ask around, or you could look in a couple places around Skyhold first.
We should probably ask one of the servants or something and see if they've seen Bull.
Okay. Go ahead and approach a servant or someone you see walking around the grounds.
Excuse me. Have you seen the Iron Bull anywhere?
You approach this woman and she's got some laundry on her hip and she looks not annoyed, but she's kind of like, how could you lose this big guy with horns on his head? Yeah, he's gone back to his quarters. You know where he stays, right?
The Herald's Rest, right?
Yeah, we saw him headed that way. He looked a bit confused, like he really just needed to be with the rest of those guys he brought with him and the Chargers, I think.
Got it. Okay. Mavia, you're following, right?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna head towards the Herald's Rest.
All right.
Okay.
Verisa and Zalanas, have you also been at the Herald's Rest?
Yeah, because we went for a drink, so yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it's getting toward, like, you all are there. Everyone is chatting and catching up. And you find Bull slouched in his customary spot in that giant chair near where the bard is usually hanging out, and poor Krem, who can't decide whether he wants to sit or stand in that chair, is lingering about to keep an eye on things and has noted the chief does not seem himself. So everyone is there except obviously for Harold and Fenris at this point. What is everyone doing, and does Mavia or Bastian, do you actually want to approach Bull, or are you satisfied with having found him for now?
I'm satisfied with having found him, but I will follow Mavia's lead if Mavia goes up and strikes up the conversation.
Mavia kind of what? Oh, I thought you said something. Mavia kind of wanders up to the table and like climbs up onto the bench. If you've ever seen like a toddler try to climb on the bench, she's not graceful. She gets there. And she will immediately see what he's having to eat.
Okay. Bull isn't really eating. He does have his giant flagon, and you're not sure if he ate earlier or if he's just not eating in that moment. But he does have a very large flagon of other things, and of drink, shall we say.
So kind of lean over and just be like, "What are you drinking?"
And he actually holds the flagon out for you, kind of like if a kid was curious to see what an adult was drinking.
She sticks her finger in it, I guess.
Oh my god, you stuck. Okay, you stuck your
Just
finger.
like,
yeah. So it is very potent. It's kind of like grog if you've ever had it. It's not a beer, it's not an ale, it's not, but it's also just very strong. You can tell there's some kind of whiskey in it, and it's almost like mead but stronger.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, sweet honey wine. It's like, this is a whole lot of alcohol and it tastes away.
We're not sure what that way is, but it's a way.
Yeah.
She'll just be like, that's very interesting. Thank you for letting me try it. Excuse me 1 minute. And she clambers down the bench and like walks outside, very dignified, spits it out, and then comes back in, and she's like, climbs back up on the bench. Do you need money to drink here?
Here, nah. I mean, if you're visiting the Inquisition, the Inquisitor hired you on. This is part of your food and drink. No one's going to charge you for a drink here.
I'm not sure I'm actually getting paid.
You're getting paid.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay. But do they have whiskey here?
So I'm gonna wave over at the barmaid and ask her to bring us 2 whiskeys, please.
So she nods, and then she turns away from you for a little bit, and when she returns, she has 2 not giant mugs, because you wouldn't give someone that much whiskey if you didn't want them to keel over, but it is a large portion of Starkhaven's finest whiskey, 12-year. It's good, nice and smooth, burns a little bit going down, but it's not something you can chug or should, but it is a very lovely whiskey. She plops it down in front of you and then goes back to whatever else she's doing.
Bastion is just gonna take a seat and sip the whiskey. And
As the Bastion is sipping it very profoundly and with dignity, the waitress tries to leave, and Mavia swipes the bottle and just puts the bottle down.
You took the whole bottle.
I took the entire.
She glares at you, and then she's like,
I'm
like
sitting next to
she is
Bull.
not
What is she
paid
gonna
enough.
do?
well, she doesn't care about you sitting next to Bull, but she's like, it's not like we don't have 20 more. She doesn't say it, but they've got more whiskey. It's not like you taking the rest of the bottle is going to do anything.
All right. So I will pass my whiskey over to Bull and kind of gently push that drink that he had out of the way.
And he looks at you and he looks at the drink and he's like, what are you trying to butter me up for? What did you do?
So
I was just trying to be nice. Why do you assume I have to do something?
And he just like looks at you, and the way he's tilted, 'cause I can't remember, maybe Chad can help me out, what side the eye patch is on. I can't remember.
I think
It says left. It says left.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
left.
Okay, so he is looking down from the right so he can actually see you. He's just like, my line of work, sometimes it pays to be suspicious. So he takes the drink, taps it very gently against your glass. He doesn't like knock you
I
off.
don't have a glass.
Are you
I
just
have a
drinking out of
bottle.
all right. He just he raises the eyebrow that's under the patch, just like, okay, something's clearly happened. Well, he taps his glass against the bottle.
Yeah, she'll tap to Bastion, and she's like, "What are you sipping for?" And she just like upends the bottle and takes like a really big chug.
Oh dear.
Bastion just stares at her in mild shock.
Well, now,
What? What?
I guess it's one way to enjoy it.
Bull actually like gives you a slight smile because he can kind of admire that. Not that he hasn't taken a whole bottle of whiskey to bed before and just drank it, but he didn't expect this from a nice dwarven lass. Look, as far as he knows, you're someone the Inquisition's hired on. He doesn't know the entirety of your backstory. And remember, he's still dealing with being traumatized by the way. So he's like, and he keeps drinking. So while all of the shenaniganry is going on, basically everyone's kind of shown up. Hawk is there too, and he seems to be over his grumpiness for the most part. You all have merriment, you have food, and at some point, Fenris and Harold are informed that everyone else is in the Herald's Rest, and you start to go that way. However, Fenris is waylaid by a servant and sends Harold ahead of himself. It's like, I'll be there. They just need me to sign something. Just go right ahead. So Harold, you get to the Herald's Rest, and everyone is a couple sheets to the wind by the time you get there.
Mavia is on the table teaching everyone the song that she was teaching Bull.
Verisa
Very
is
important.
sitting next to everyone, and she has a glass in her hand, but I think only very few people would notice that it's the same glass she started with, and it's not very empty.
So Mavia is on the table. She's teaching everyone the song. I like to think that Bull is joining in because he already knows the song. She taught it to him. It's very important. And Mavia walks down the table to Verisa and has like the big smile on her face and leans down and she goes, "You better drink that."
Well, I'm drinking it.
You're not drinking it. But she's sitting there staring at you. Are you going to drink it?
She'd pick the glass up, chug it, and flip it and set it in front of her.
Better. And then she just turns right back around and walks down the other end of the table.
Okay.
And passes the entire bottle after she's drunk about a quarter of it to Zalanis. Just the whole bottle.
Okay.
Enio's face just says it. I feel like that's actually Zalanis' face. He's just like...
Like the Shem alcohol? How dare.
Arisa, she's serious.
It's not that strong. It's not that good, but it's drinkable.
I don't talk shit about elf drinks.
Well, would you have understood that if they said that in Elven?
Well, no, but also I feel like she would have known.
Talking behind my back. And I'm trying to remember if I actually took another language or not.
Now is the time to check that.
I forget. Okay.
I will check while this shenaniganry is going on. So everyone more or less is having a good time, but Hawk is still being a little bit of a grump.
She's not going near Hawk, by the way.
That's fair. And Hawk, like, as you all drink more, the more he starts to give Harold a dirty look. And eventually, he comes over to Harold and leans down and whispers in his ear, "You know that he's not going to keep you around, right?"
And Harold is gonna lean back to Hawk and say, "Well, maybe this time it's gonna be different."
Yeah, that's what they all say. And he just smiles and he like intentionally bumps against you to spill your drink. What's Harold gonna do?
Is Hawk moving away from Harold?
Oh, he's slowly taking his time, but he's just kind of meandering back to his seat. He's not at all bothered with you, but the more he drinks, the more he's being an asshole.
Harold would so the moment Hawk is turned, I need to know, what is Hawk wearing in his back?
You mean as in terms of weapons or armor?
Weapons or clothes, or like what's occupying his back at the moment?
Nothing, because he's in Skyhold. He's in for lack of a better term, casual leather armor, because he is still a mage. He doesn't have his staff with him, because who would think you'd need your staff in Skyhold, right?
I've been using my staff the whole time I've been in Skyhold.
Well, not the whole time.
I mean, I need time to recharge, but it's like a magic item. Once I expend all the charges, I have to roll a d20. If I roll a 1, it's gonna explode. I don't want that to happen to me.
I mean, in some cases, exploding can be good. You left the door wide open on that one.
You're in your face.
You. So yeah, he's just like in casual leather armor.
Okay.
He was figuring he was in for a night at the tavern before you all take off the western approach.
So would you say that like there's leather pieces in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. So as Hawk turns around, Harold is sort of begins to move his shoulders like he's uncomfortable, and he's just gonna reach in his back and get a piece of salami out and just like stick it to the back of Hawk's armor. Like just like
Okay. I'm going to roll for Hawk.
It was lovely knowing all of you. I have other concepts for characters, don't worry. They're not all horny.
So Hawk felt it. And he reaches back and he feels this piece of meat on his armor, and he makes a face.
Not for the first time.
True. And he comes over and he starts brandishing this meat at you. Not that meat. The
Not
meat
for the first time.
Oh boy. Oh boy. And he's brandishing this meat, and he's angry, and his Ferelden accent is coming out, whatever Ferelden accent sounds like. I couldn't tell you. I figure it's like a Midwestern accent. No one hears it unless you're not from here. So what are the rest of you doing while Hawk is brandishing this random piece of cold cut at Harold?
If I tell you, are you going to get mad?
Is that an in or out of character question?
Maybe picks up a roll of bread, like a baguette.
Okay.
She is going to slap the meat out of Hawk's head. With the baguette.
And he's just like, and because you're a dwarf and small, he doesn't see who actually did it. And he turns to slap the ever-loving piss out of Harold. So,
Oops.
Verisa, give me a roll.
What,
Give me a D20 roll. I'm not telling you what it's for. Just roll it for me.
10.
Poor Verisa. She had been trying to intervene. She got the slap meant for Harold.
Is that the moment when everything goes silent?
It's the record scratch. You may be wondering, how did I get here moment? Like in a lot of Marvel movies.
And Mavia throws the baguette under the table.
And Hawk like recoils because he feels like both the ghost of Leandra and Malcolm is about to come beat him back to Ferelden, because that was one of the rules and things that Leandra taught him was not to hit women. So what chaos ensues from him slapping Verisa? Not intentionally, mind you.
I think it's that moment of like she's trying to come in and intervene to kind of like break it up, and she like he hits her full on. She like takes it, and there's that moment where she turns back and looks at him, and she sees like he's pulling back, and she's like, "So you're willing to slap someone who did nothing to you, but you freak out about hitting a woman? Do you actually use those weapons you carry, or are they just for show?" Because
he scowls at you because he really was remorseful for hitting you. His whole ire was focused on Harold, and now he's like, you've called him a coward, basically.
no, not less coward and more braggart.
Okay, so now he's mad. And don't worry, audience, we're not going to actually have combat between the player characters. Trust me.
In the background, you hear what sounds like a piece of paper being pulled out and writing as Mavia starts going around taking the odds.
Oh my god. I thought you were going to say the paper was Varric.
Wait, can I roll to see if I hear this? Because I want to do something if I hear this.
Go for it.
And the paper is definitely the back of the map.
Okay, so that's 10, 15?
Yes, you hear it because you're an elf, and it is like someone dropped a quarter silent right in this moment.
In Elven, she shouts to Zalanis, "Put 10 on me."
Okay. Only 10. And he puts 15.
Wow.
Mavia is going to bet on Verisa, and then is going to try to egg on Hawk by making him so pissed off he loses.
Wow.
He's going to use vicious mockery.
This isn't actually going to happen, though, right? She's not actually going to fight Hawk, right?
Probably not, but I'm still going to start some shit.
Oh boy.
So she then turns.
I feel like it's like all mayhem, and just in the middle is Bull sitting there very silently drinking the flagon.
For now.
I think in that moment, she also just, after she says that to Zalanis, she turns back to Hawk and says, So
Hawk now is angry, and he like picks up a beer and throws it in your face.
Is Harold still behind her?
I don't know. Is Harold still behind?
I think so. I think Harold did not foresee Verisa taking a hit for him. He was getting ready to get slapped, and he even had a comeback to it.
I think if Harold's still behind her, she doesn't move. And she would like pull one of those like lick the alcohol and goes, now I know why you're you can't even drink well, can you? Here, let me give you a real drink. And she'll reach behind and pick up one of the glasses that was filled with the whiskey from the bottle that Mavia had and toss it back at him. Have yourself a drink.
Oi, that's good whiskey.
Yeah!
And in that moment, you all hear the Dacian equivalent of yakety sax.
Although I feel, there we go.
And there's just chaos everywhere.
Okay, turn it off. At some point, Mavia is going to make sure to slip up behind him and just be like, he's never going to like you more, right? And just slip away.
Oh, shit. So at this point, it has turned into the usual bar brawl. Like, there's glasses being hit overhead. Dorian at some point comes in and has to duck from like a bottle of wine being thrown at the door, because whoever's at this point is fighting, they don't care. They saw a movement and they threw a bottle.
This maybe is singing whatever is the equivalent of "Don't Stop Me Now."
Oh my god. So this goes on for all. Are any of you doing anything specific while this chaos is happening?
I think Zalanis is absolutely gleeful because this is hilarious. But also, I think I just sort of back into a corner and keep an eye on my few friends. And if anything looks like it's actually going to harm any of them, there are a few protective only spells, Verisa, that might need to get thrown if someone actually looks like they're going to get hurt. So I'll just be ready for that. But otherwise, just like really enjoying watching this.
Zalanis, you would notice that Verisa has not pulled a weapon. She
Yes.
is sticking to bar fight rules.
Proud of you, I think.
For now.
For now.
For now. If it gets bad, she's got a bottle in her hand.
What's Mavia doing? And I really need to know what Bastian and Harold are doing.
Bastian's probably wondering why he was nice to Mavia. This is probably really unconventional, but I'm going to whisper something to you, Tanya.
Okay. All right. Well, Kelly
and fairly high, I would assume.
Okay. For those of you that are either engaged in the fight or just observing, give me perception checks.
Hearing or seeing?
Seeing. Sebastian got
Hold on, I got lost. 8.
Okay, but you did get doubles. You do have stunts if you want to try to pull stunts.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I gotta look those up.
Where did I put the stunts?
Verisa, what page are those on?
133.
Thank you.
10, 14.
Verisa, where in my computer are my stunts?
They're in the PDF on page 133.
Yes.
I only have
Verisa-
10 no stunts.
Verisa's too focused on the fight. She's on 11.
So Zalanis, you're observing. You are making a point of observing.
Uh-oh.
So all you see is just a tiny little flash of braids and shiny objects as Mavia darts in and out between brawling patrons. And you get the sense that maybe this is how she might have acquired the letter that got her here. Possibly. She's stealing some shit.
It's a rogue.
Straight
I
up
love
stealing-
that.
Just
Oh.
stealing shit. Does Hawk have anything I can take?
No, because he didn't bring anything valuable. Because again, he is in the keep and he's been there a while.
Mhm.
So it's home for him for the moment. So he wouldn't have anything specifically valuable on him.
Okay. But yeah, no, she's bobbing and weaving throughout the bar patrons, occasionally popping up to egg the fight on
Did she
Oh my
steal
God.
anything from Harold?
and pickpocketing. I don't think she would steal from her party members.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she'd steal from her party members. But she may or may not be using Bull as a repository for the stuff she's
my
stealing.
Does Bull know that? Probably
Bull
not.
probably doesn't care. He's just enjoying
Sure.
the entertainment. As long as no one throws a bottle at him, he's content to sit there and drink and watch you all have shenanigans.
So since Zalanis noticed this, and I also rolled some doubles, there's a stunt called Advantageous This is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a stunt called Advantageous Positioning that will allow me to place myself where it would be most advantageous to the situation. So I think at some point, like Mavia is extremely skilled, but maybe somebody in the brawl sort of turns at the wrong moment towards her, and I just happen to be right next to this person. I see what's about to happen, and I just catch eyes with Mavia and just sort of like hip check the person over to the side so they don't actually catch her.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so this brawl goes on as long as it needs to, much like a movie.
Yes.
I want to know what Bastion's doing.
I know.
Yeah, Bastion, what are you doing? I almost forgot about you.
I'm going to enrage. You twist the knife, delivering a provocation or insult in such a way that a single target you designate must choose between either attacking you or storming away from the scene. If they choose to attack, the assault need not be deadly, although that option is open to the enraged character. A slap or the throwing of the gauntlet may stand in as an attack just as well. And I'm going to aim that at Hawk because he wasted perfectly good whiskey.
Wow, what does Hawk have to roll to save against it?
I have
Or
no
is there
idea.
a save?
He makes the character chooses if he's going to attack or not.
Okay, so roll for it.
Okay, how do I
If
roll?
you
for
have
this?
to.
Do I have to roll?
It sounds like you don't have to roll. So basically,
No.
Hawk has to decide what to do.
Mhm.
Hawk stares at you, and he's just like, he's had enough of everyone's shit, especially since he got like whiskey and beer thrown at him at this point. And he rears back to slap Bastion. Do you try to evade, or are you going to take the hit, or what are you going to do?
I'm gonna try to evade and slap him back.
Boy,
If this works.
go for it.
Okay.
Simon, don't act like any of this is a surprise, Mr. Cold Cuts and Silk Sheets. Okay.
What do I
My
roll
surprise is that
for the
Bastion's
evasion?
fighting Hawk.
Let me pull up your character sheet really quick.
I've been drinking whiskey, and whiskey is one of my passions.
Oh dear. Hey, guess who didn't make a character sheet for Hawk? I'm just gonna reuse. I'm gonna reuse some of the character sheet because I'm smart. But let me look at yours. I would say you'd be using. Ooh, there's not a lot there. It'd be you don't really have a stat that goes with evasion, so it would be your dex. You'd have brawling though. You do have brawling if you want to use that as focus.
Okay. So did that roll right?
Yes, I believe so. Let me look.
17.
Yes, it did.
Oh yeah, you slap him good. And Hawk rears back, and he like when someone slaps you, you can't believe they actually just slapped you. Cause he's kind of like, what did I do to you? I was going for the other guy.
Probably Verisa.
Well, he was thinking more Harold, but
but yeah, there's that.
So as Hawk is like giving you this filthy stare, before either of you can do anything, the door opens. And mind you, the brawl is still going on, even though you all have your pockets of what's happening. And Fenris is the unfortunate recipient of a face full of ale. Just as he's coming in to what he thinks is hanging out with everyone before you set out in the morning to the Western Approach. And a flag and a veil to the face does hurt. So it's not like an end over end, it splashed over him like he took one full in the face. And
I
not
feel like this is the perfect comedic moment for Mavia to be standing directly in front of him when this happens.
and for the rest of the ale to just drench you.
No. For her to see it happen and for her to be the person he sees.
Oh,
Like,
do you want him to think you threw it?
no, I just want him to think, oh, she did something.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna be like, would you like a napkin?
Well, first he has to like make sure he does not like keel over from getting smacked in the face with a fucking
Those are probably like
flagon.
pewter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
And Inquisitor or not, that's still gonna hurt and leave a mark.
Mm-hmm. So much for Pretty Boy.
No, I mean, we've got mages. It's not like we've got a, oh God, I forgot the mage that always says, it's a bow. And I can't remember her name. There are mages that can heal him up. And it's not like he lost like an eye or anything. It just, at the velocity it was coming, it like hit him and then the beer sloshed all over him. And he is not a happy man right now. It's basically like he's got like a forehead wound that's starting to bleed, and head wounds bleed very badly.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's bloody. He smells like beer, and there's utter fucking chaos. What do you all do when you all realize this happened?
Oi, Harold, your man.
Why do I smell cold cuts?
And
It's
during
just
this whole
like-
time, Harold has just been going around from table to table, finishing everybody else's drinks.
Oh no.
So yeah, Mavia standing there. She's got like suspiciously hefty looking belt pouches at the moment. And she's just like, do you need a chair?
He glares, and before he realizes like who's talking to him, because he's not okay, and he's just like, and you know that sound before a parent lets you have it, you get the full entire name, including the middle name.
Yeah, you usually have about 10 seconds between the and the yelling. You can
And
make a
or-
lot of tracks in 10 seconds.
And or the chonklas come out.
Or the back of the hairbrush.
Yes. So he like wipes his face because there's like blood in one eye, and he's dripping of beer. He's like, what in the void is happening? But it's like that quiet, oh, I'm about to get an entire ass whooping voice. It's not the everybody's mad and yelling. This is the, oh, we all in trouble voice.
Bastion is gonna sheepishly point at Hawk.
Wow.
Yeah, no, maybe it's like, listen, Hawk he slapped Verisa.
Yo, he's been picking a fight with Harold.
He was trying to hit Harold, but he hit Verisa because Verisa was trying to calm everything down.
And no man that's a man hits a woman. Or wastes whiskey.
He wasted whiskey. It's fair.
Fucking wasted whiskey.
That's total waste.
Zalanis, Marisa,
He's just like-
Harold.
God, I think Zalanis is just relieved it wasn't him this time to piss Fenris off. I think I'm staying out of it, yo. At least until I see how he's gonna react.
I think what it is that Verisa, who had been mostly trying to keep everyone else from being targeted by anyone, and was like, but then missed Bastion stepping up to Hawk and slapping him, but she had this moment of like caught sight of that, really appreciated it. But with Fenris coming in and Bastion turning to blame Hawk for everything, as you should, she kind of turns and puts herself, and she's still focused right now on who she perceives as the biggest threat. And that is Hawk. And her job is to stay between the threat and everybody else.
Okay.
I should have asked this first before deciding to stay out of things. How bad does that that flagon injury look?
It looks bad, and if it isn't treated, it's gonna leave a mark, and he
Yeah.
might have a little bit of a goose egg the next day, and a nasty headache.
Yeah, crap. I mean, oh god, Zelanos wants to heal him, but he already hates that, and he's not in a good mood.
I mean, he did just catch a flagon of beer right in the face.
He sure did. He sure did. Oh gods. Okay, so I'll approach and just sort of keep an eye on who he's glowering at, if anyone, while I'm going up there and making sure that it's not me. And I guess when I get up to him, I'll just have my staff ready at the ready and just sort of look at him and be like, I know that you, but it's very small. Could I?
And he almost growls at you before he feels like a pulse of pain from this. And he's like, let me sit down first.
All right.
So he lets you lead him to a chair, and he just like kind of leans back because the blood is getting like in his eyes. Because if you've ever had a head wound, they're shallow, but they bleed a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of his blood on him right now, and he still is like, I smell like beer. I had a pleasant afternoon. What happened? Like that's all what's going through his head as he's
Right.
heal him.
Right. Yeah, so Zelanos will heal him and just sort of, sort of like almost like last time, just say, just enough so that, you can sleep tonight and don't wake up, with an incapacitating headache in the morning. I will touch you with as little magic as possible.
And he just sighs. He's like, just do what you have to. I would like a clear head for what I'm going to do and say.
I think that's probably wise. And considering the other option would have been to have Dorian come over here and cauterize it with magic, I figured you would have preferred this.
Fair.
Mavia is sitting next to Bull, looking completely and totally innocent and drinking, just some whiskey and just big eyes.
Bastion is going to go sit next to Mavia and lean down and whisper to her, see, this is why we need you on the team.
She will pour him another drink.
Oh my god.
All
right.
Which she will happily drink.
There's no combat or anything, so I'm not going to make you roll to heal Fenris because that would be silly. But as you're healing Fenris, because it's not instantaneous.
Sure.
He's leaned back, like almost like he's looking up at the ceiling. He just starts talking. Who started it?
That is hard to say, but Hawk came looking for a fight, and it is less than none of my business, except that I have a voice that I should be speaking in. It is less than none of my business, but I think perhaps whatever that situation is, and sort of gestures generally towards Harrell and Hawk,
Oh my god.
I think it is best for the future success of our mission if it is sorted quickly and decisively.
If he could give you a dirty look, he so would right now.
It's a good thing he's got blood in his face.
And his eyes are closed.
And his eyes are closed. I know that you know this, but I think perhaps it, adds a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Urgency, now that, others have begun to notice it taking a toll.
Hawk is my concern.
Yes, he
And-
is.
And the way that he says that is like, Hawk is in so much trouble right now. like it'd be like if he could grab Hawk by the ear and drag him down the hall. you would do it.
Hawk's about to get called by both his first, middle, and last name.
Oof.
Oh yes.
Oof.
So he's letting you work on him.
All right.
And as you're continuing work, he's like, Invictus, Endrin, Hawk, come here.
Oh God, I work faster.
What's really, really important to know when he says all three names is, does he use the mom voice?
Well, he wouldn't know mom voice per se, but it's that he puts on Inquisitor voice. Like, there's no arguing right now. Like, you better come here right now. And then Hawk comes over. And even though he can't see Hawk, he just grabs for him and manages to get him by the collar and pulls him down. He's like, go to your room. I will be there once we clean up this mess. Not another word. And if you touch Harold again, I'll break your arm. And he lets him go. So Hawk wisely is not going to argue back, because he has seen Fenris in this mood even before being in the Inquisition. He is very much, oh boy, I got whole name and I got grabbed by the throat. It's not going to be a pleasant evening for me. So Hawk slinks out and he starts to give Harold a dirty look, and then he thinks better of it, and he goes to his quarters. So what are the rest of you doing while while Zalanis finishes healing Fenris? And I note that Zalanis is being very careful, because he doesn't know how his magic will react to the brands that Fenris has or the mark in his hand.
Right.
But also, it's a chance to do a good deed for Fenris and not make him angry for once.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and having healed him last time, I at least the strange, like, weird fluctuations that happen with magic around him and the brand and the mark and everything, they're at least not unexpected, even if I still don't really understand them. So I'm just very cautious.
So he waits for anyone else to speak up while he's getting healed. Any of the rest of you have anything to say?
Harold will attempt to sneak out after Hawk.
Okay. Well, Fenris's eyes are closed and he's getting healed, so it's not like he'll see you. We will come to that in a moment. I'm going to say, for the sake of narrative, that you were successful and no one saw you or stopped you if they did. In the meantime, Dorian is observing Zalanis healing Fenris. He's not talking, he's just very intrigued by elven magic. Other than Bastien lamenting the waste of whiskey. What are you doing, Mavia, aside from enjoying the fact you lifted some purses from some rather well-off people?
I mean, I am also drinking. Mavia / Kelly, I should say, is considering whether she should offer whiskey to Fenris, but she doesn't know if this guy drinks whiskey.
He does.
Okay, good. So she'll, grab a glass and like polish it on her shirt, and you don't know where that's been.
I know, I'm just laughing at the image.
And pour only a little bit of whiskey, because she needs to have some left for herself and Bastien. So Fenris only gets a little. He's like one finger whiskey. And she kind of pops down off the bench and walks over and just straight up, because his eyes are closed, so straight up takes his wrist and puts the glass in his hand.
And he's just like, who's touching me?
Don't whine, drink it. Well, it's not wine, it's whiskey, but I was telling you, never mind, just drink it. You'll feel better.
That's the dwarven woman, isn't it?
That's a foul slander.
Aren't you a dwarf?
This is the elf. The sneaky one.
I know what Verisa sounds like. You're not her.
Got it in one. Now drink the whiskey, you'll feel better.
Well, once I can sit up, I'll drink it. And he waits to see if he waits for Zelanis to move away.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the hint as soon as I'm done. I won't leave before, but
yeah, so he sits up and he's disgusted at how he looks. And he drinks the whiskey. And he gives Mavia a respectful nod because he does respect her standing up for herself earlier. And he just looks around the Herald's Rest and is like, I want this cleaned up and a report on my desk in the morning before we leave. And he looks around, where'd Harold go?
I don't know.
Tell him I want to see him in my quarters whenever he's back from wherever he snuck off to. I need to get cleaned up. Dorian rises and follows after him and starts trying to talk him down. Because even though they're not the best of friends, they are able to talk once in a while. And he's seen him in this mood. And with Hawk not around, the new boyfriend not around, and a bunch of new people, he's probably the best candidate to keep him calm right now. So while you all get cleaned up, leave, or hopefully no one else is drenched in beer and or whiskey, we're gonna go to Harold, who is doing a thing. What are you doing, Harold?
Walking up to Hawk.
Are you calling after him?
Yeah.
Because he is...
I was going to, but then I yawned.
It's okay.
Hawk.
He stops and he collects himself because he's just like, he doesn't want to hear Fenris lay into him more if you wind up hurt. Yeah, what do you want?
What did you mean he's gonna ditch me?
What did you think I meant?
So he's just... What? Using me?
Not on purpose. Being the Inquisitor is really hard, and it's lonely. And he brought you here for a purpose. Do you think once Anders is found, he's going to want anything to do with any of you?
Well, I thought maybe at first no, but now yes.
I mean, believe me or not, you clearly have feelings for him.
Well, I thought that much was apparent.
Oh, everyone can see it. You're not very good at hiding your emotions.
I'm not very good at hiding, period.
Well, believe me or not, it's clear that you give very little regard to my opinion after that childish prank of throwing salami at me. What do you want? Aren't you satisfied with me being chastised like a schoolboy in front of everyone in the tavern?
I actually came to apologize.
For what?
For making fun of you. I got so caught up in the fact that Fenris had turned his attention to me that it's like I had won. And I didn't realize until tonight that you might have been hurt by this. And I wanted to apologize.
Save your apologies. It's not as if Fenris wants me anymore either. And then he waits to see if you're going to say anything else before he leaves.
As he leaves, I think Harold would just turn around and say, "But you still have feelings for him, don't you?"
He doesn't say anything, but you feel a snap of cold go past you as he flings a small ice bolt your way, making sure not to hit you. He doesn't answer, he just keeps walking.
I'll take that as a yes. Does ice mean yes?
You might want to ask Fenris about that once he calms down.
No.
While are you going to stay out there? Are you going to go back to the Herald's Rest?
I'll go back to the Herald's Rest. Pondering the fact that I should not use ice in the bedroom because it might remind Fenris of his ex-boyfriend.
Okay. So you go back, and Hawk, poor Hawk, can't get more than a couple feet before other people want to have words with him.
Verisa just kind of melts out of the shadows, and she looks different than what you've seen of her.
Okay.
Her face is placid, calm, and she just looks Hawk dead in the eye. And she didn't have a weapon at the bar fight, but she's holding a large dagger in her hand now.
Okay.
And she's not threatening with it, but she's making sure that he can see it.
Okay.
Champion.
What do you want?
Them? They're under my protection. Don't. Again.
Is this the part where everyone threatens Hawk to be nice to their friend?
I don't care if you're nice to my friend or not. You can say what you want. But the minute you try and harm him, or any of them that are under mine, well, I don't threaten.
Fine. He's just annoyed and very done in, and he's like, whatever, just...
Yes, the great champion doesn't fear a slowly little elf coming out of the dark. I get it.
No, I'm tired.
Tired.
And before everyone decided to start a brawl, I was going to try to apologize to you because I had no intent to slap you.
No. You did intend to slap Harold, though.
And what difference is it to you? Aren't you in charge of the other elf, Solanus?
Right now, they're all mine to protect. They don't always need to know it.
And he rolls his eyes like, fine.
We all sleep sometime, Hawk.
Yes. Sleep with one eye open. We all sleep sometime.
And I failed that the first time. I don't fail anymore.
Well, I'm not going to actively seek out your friends or those you protect. I've had enough for tonight, and I'm sure I'm going to get even more of an earful from Fenris. So you've made your point. You've told me you protect your friends and your people.
Yes, I made a point. Have a pleasant evening, champion.
He doesn't even give you like the courtesy of responding. He just turns and keeps walking. He's just like, he is dreading the way that Fenris is going to lay into him.
And she'll just melt back into the shadows and make her way back to the tavern. quietly.
All right. So you get back to the tavern to find chaos is not happening as much. And Bull is sitting next to Fenris and giving him a verbal report before he writes it up. And Harold, Bastien, Mavia, and Zalanis, what all are you doing now that everyone's back together in the tavern?
I think Mavia would at least be half listening to the report Bull is giving to make sure that she's not getting thrown under the bus because he knew what she was up to.
Nah, he wouldn't do that to you. And he's also been Hasrith. He knows the value of leaving things out to his benefit.
Otherwise, I
So-
think she'd be trying to figure out with Bastien if the map is left and right or top and bottom.
Yeah, and by the way, Fenris had come back once he got cleaned up and changed.
And I think they both had enough whiskey that it's an interesting conversation.
It's going all over the place.
As to which way the map goes, we're not sure.
Yeah, we're just kind of holding each piece, trying to fit it together, and kind of arguing about which line has to line up with which line.
Mm-hmm. It's like I feel like we're missing a corner piece. Are we missing a corner piece?
I don't think it's not the corner piece though. I think it's somewhere in the middle.
What's in the middle?
I don't. It just. Are you sure there were only 2 pieces when you first got this map?
I mean,
Because look at that line there. Look, that line goes.
this
it
is
go
like a
this
long
way,
conversation.
Or does it like?
Um,
We're
So
like
while-
rotating the map like a few
Mhm.
times, trying to figure out which of the 4 sides
Mhm.
matches up with which of the other 4 sides.
oh my god. So while you're doing that, what is everyone else up to?
I think Verisa comes back and has just got a couple glasses, and she hands one to Zalanis and hands one to Harold.
Zalanis will take it and just sort of say to the two of you on either side of him, I guess, at some point we're going to resume this hunt for Anders that we're on, no?
He's nearby. He's not that far.
Don't get me wrong. I needed a night like this, but if he really is that close by,
I mean, is he that stupid? She's asking completely seriously.
yeah. Stupid, or has a plan, or any number of possibilities.
Or this place has something he needs and or wants.
Hmm.
And she's kind of
Remind-
just
oh.
still holding the drink and looking at Harold like, why are you not taking this?
Harold, are you taking the drink? Or are you deep in thought?
No, Harold's gonna take the drink. He's thinking about what Hawk said.
Do any of you want to pry into him seeming to be a bit out of sorts, or are you going to let him drink his whiskey and be left to his own thoughts?
I think Zalanis said his piece to the other half of this little drama couple.
It's
So
just like I just came to have a drink. What did I do?
yeah, I don't think Zalanis would know what to say. But is he okay?
And she'd like look at Zalanis, shake her head, and look at Harold and see, like, is it kind of obvious that he's still in deep contemplation and concern?
Yeah, it was. He forgot to smile.
Yeah, he forgot to smile. And Verisa would, like, kind of negligently over her shoulder to Zalanis in Elven say, I got this one, you took the other one. And she'd kind of start guiding Harold to a corner, not out, like kind of not out of sight or like away, not too far away, but enough that she could maybe have a quiet conversation without Fenris necessarily overhearing everything she says.
And well, and also depends on whether you speak in Tavine, Common, or Elven.
Well, she has to speak in Common because she doesn't speak in Tavine, and Harold doesn't speak Elven.
Fair. Good luck.
So while they move away, Bastion is gonna nudge Zelanis and just be like, "Yo, you're smart. How does this go?" And he's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
show him both pieces of the map and just be like,
Got it.
Maybe it climbs up on the table and like sits in front of Zelanis. And she's like, listen. The stabby viney thing, can you do it on a much smaller level?
"Wait, what?"
Maybe. Yeah.
Just like sew it back together.
I just want to make sure that I understand. You would like me to use the wrath of all of the keepers of the Dalish elves back generations to sew together a map. It's fine. I just want to make sure I understand before I answer.
To be fair,
Yeah.
elves like order. This map is not in order. I feel like they would be mad.
So that's a yes. Yes, that is what you would like me to do.
It worked.
Because I don't have any magic.
That is for the best.
It would be
And I'll
fun.
look. I'll start looking at the map. I will not be fixing it with magic, but I can at least tell them which way's up. I hope.
Okay. While you all work on that, what
I love this
others-
MacGuffin. Like this has nothing to do with the story, but this map has just become a thing.
You don't know it doesn't have anything
Oh,
to do
no.
with the story.
I watch it be the key to everything, and I broke it.
You never know. So let's pan over to Verisa and Harold to bring us to a close for tonight. What are you two doing, and how are you counseling our heartbroken friend or upset friend, shall we
Yeah,
say?
upset. I'm not heartbroken yet.
Yeah.
So what are you two doing?
Like Verisa sits him down and then makes sure that he puts his hand around the glass and like waits for him to lift the glass, kind of thing. And then after he takes the first drink, she would say quietly, "Why are you giving any value to what he said?"
Because there was truth in his words.
No, there wasn't. There was heartbreak, tiredness, frustration, and past, but not truth.
I mean, when you grow up bearing no possession of your own, you kind of get used to not keeping anything for long. I don't know. I thought I'd found something. Maybe I did.
Why haven't-
It's just-
By all accounts, the only person who you should at all be listening to is quite content with the way things are going. Quite content.
Why, have you been spying on us?
No?
Insight check.
Are you really rolling an insight check?
It's the way she said no.
Fair.
that got Harold suspicious.
All right.
What is it? Is it like cunning or something?
Sure.
I just want to see what happens.
That would be a 13 with 5 stunt points.
Oh boy.
It's a 12.
Harold beats you.
Yeah, by 1.
And also whatever stunts he pulls. So you get the sense that Verisa, much as you like her, is pulling a fast one on you.
You know you don't need to. Is no shame, but is that what
No.
gets you?
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure, because, you know, the other day, you were also the one who told us we could hear us and stuff.
Harold, do you know what I am? What, not who. What?
A woman. An elf?
Profession.
Oh, just between you and I think you're a hired killer. Also, I may be slightly tipsy, but don't tell
Just
anyone.
between you and I, you're not wrong.
I knew. Who do you want to kill?
No one here.
Oh.
Oh my God, can we all have Harold guess what we do for a living?
And she looks at Harold and says, I was a hunter.
How did that go for you to go from hunter to killer?
My hair was a lot longer.
It kept sticking in your bow and you decided to stop doing that. I get it.
No, a cavalryman cut it off when he slashed across my back. And everyone was dead.
That is very sad.
Is the rest of the bar, is it still full of people?
Yes and no. Some people have meandered out, and some people just flat out ran once the shenaniganry started and the fight.
Because I feel like the three of us that were, you know, I was trying to get him to do the magic on the map, and I feel like we would at least notice that there's this very serious conversation going on in the corner.
Oh, if you want to overhear it, like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to hide anything.
Verisa's not hiding what she's saying at the moment.
I think, let me check my level of tipsiness.
Roll to see if I'm getting drunk.
So, I am at this stage of, like, tipsy enough that, like, I don't have any control over this volume of my voice.
And Verisa can tell this. And she's not, whatever she's saying now, it doesn't matter if they're overheard, but she's trying to like she said, Zalanis had the other half of this conversation, and she's trying to not draw everyone's attention as she does. If he does, it's not her fault.
So everyone died.
Yes.
And that's supposed to make me feel better. How?
Because, Harold, not everyone died.
Unless you're a ghost.
Unfortunately, I'm very much not a ghost. A ghost would be a lot more easy in my profession.
Well, do tend to disappear a lot.
A hunter's job is to make sure that there's prey to be eaten, skins to be had, and that predators cannot find the clan.
Oh. Oh, you failed at your job.
A lot.
I'm sorry. I am very sorry for you.
So I don't fail now. So when I tell you that Hawk's opinions are from the past and his own failures, I'm speaking from a place of knowledge on failure.
I thank you. I've never failed in my life, so I don't know what it's like. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My whole life is a failure.
You're breathing, aren't you?
Yeah.
You have, at the moment, a stable relationship, which I don't know why you're taking someone who's jealous of your stable relationship's opinion to break your stable relationship.
Because it's been a stable relationship for like 3 days.
Again, jealous.
No, I understand. I get that. It's because it rang so true. Fenris left all of us back into winter. Or was left for dead, or I don't know. To me, it felt like he just ran away. Even in death, it would have been a cop-out. So imagine my surprise when I find out he's the Inquisitor.
Harold, imagine my surprise when literally everyone was dead. And I walking up on Zalanis at the door of this castle.
Zalanis was your husband and you thought he had died.
God, no. Zalanis is basically my brother.
Zalanis, you dog.
Maybe it stops. Since obviously, chat can't see what I'm writing in backstage chat. Maybe it has started to go through the bags that she, lifted off people. She stops doing that and she looks at Zalanis and she's like, "You marry your sister?"
No, you're not. She's not. Let her. Just keep listening to her. She'll explain it.
But wait, are you sure it goes there? Because those lines don't look like they line up.
Oh shit! You're right. No, it goes this way.
Yes.
Wait. So he's your brother.
No. Do you understand? Clan is everything, right? You were raised in Tevinter.
I have no knowledge of my own people.
But you relied on others like you. Right?
Don't really rely on the other slaves. Are just as liable to tell on you than to probably help you. It depends on how empty your stomach is.
In Clan, everyone has a job, a place, a thing that they do. Everyone relies on everyone else. Is Zalanis biologically my brother? No. Were we raised together? Yes. Did I have to occasionally pull him out of the way of mouthing off to somebody who he was probably going to be upset with what he said? More than once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you didn't pull him out of killing that guy in the throne room today.
No, I did try to, but wasn't fast enough. Thank you. Yet another reason why I need to make sure I'm better at my job.
Oh, hey, no problem.
I think at this point, maybe it would just walk up with another bottle, and she's just gonna like put it in Harold's hand
Oh,
and
hey.
say, "Listen, you're just finish it, just because it's miserable if you stay this. Like, just get to past the sad part. Get past the sad part. Get past the sad drunk. Go straight to passing out. Trust
I'm
me."
gonna have to tell people who start reading my memoir. Just get past the sad part.
I came here to have fun, and I'm feeling sick now.
I know.
I don't know if you know me.
The sad part of being drunk. I don't know about your. I'm saying it's the drunk sad part to get to the happy drunk part.
Yeah, no, passing out doesn't come until way later after the party, but are we having a party?
No,
mean-
you're going to, and she like take the bottle from Mavia and like put it to her side and goes, no, you're going home with your boyfriend and making him feel better. He's sitting over there.
I have a boyfriend.
No, not you, him,
Oh.
Harold.
No, he's my boyfriend. Don't touch him.
See, now we're
Isn't that what started this whole mess? You hear a disembodied voice say.
I don't want to touch your boyfriend.
I think at this point, someone needs to drag Harold.
Yeah, no,
I think
Harold's gonna get up and turn to Fenris and say, "You're right, Verissa. Come on, Fenris. There's still half a platter of cold cuts."
And he just pauses and looks at you like right now.
It was a joke. I did the smile thing. I'm feeling better. I need to go to sleep.
He pats you on the head. He's like, all right, let's go tuck you in, and then I have someone to go yell at, and then we're going to sleep.
He hears maybe in the background. Is it me?
No. It's the other guy.
So Fenrir is like, he half drags Harold out and just waves at Bull, like, just give me a written report tomorrow. And with that very sad, like dragging a sad drunk Harold out of the tavern in Skyhold, we're gonna call it a night, because I don't think we can get any more ridiculous this evening.
I'm sorry,
Ugh.
but I mean that sounds like a challenge for next week.
Oh, I'm sure you all will rise to the bait. I mean the challenge, or not. But I'm gonna turn it back over to Simon so we can do our usual round of goodbyes and what have you.
Yes, and wow, tonight was a roller coaster of emotions. Just going like this and then ending in a slump.
Well,
For some of us.
that depends.
I mean, I'm rich now. I mean,
I'm
I'm maybe not rich. I think one of
It
these
really-
bags had
it-
like half an onion in it. But
It really,
it's like-
it really depends on how that warden, recovery works.
And how drunk.
Oh,
Harold
he wasn't drunk. He was getting there. The problem is he wasn't in a good headspace. What Hawk said really shook him.
Okay.
And it's just abandonment issues. Don't fucking throw that in my face. The fuck died and made you champion of Kirkwall?
A lot of people.
Actually, yeah. Um, that said, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to all of you who hung out in chat. Thank you to people who followed, who donated. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the cheers. Thank you for the raid. If there are any other raiders still left behind, welcome everyone. Next week is going to be our last episode, our finale of our first season, because yes, we are going to come back for a second season. We will be taking a short break for another game that's going to take place on Thursdays, and then we're going to do Dragon Age right after that, getting on to the second part of our big adventure. or maybe a new adventure. Who knows? I don't know what Tanya has planned. But yes, so next week our finale. The week after will be the premiere of Sisterhood of the Magical Sword. It is a magical girl anime game, beautifully drawn by Little Cup of Joe, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to be back again for some more Thirsty Thursdays with some more Dragon Age. But other than that, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to unveil the full character creation rules from Cyberpunk Red way ahead of the release of the book. We are the only ones in the world that are allowed to do that. So it's a big, big, big honor. And I'm super proud and super happy. So if you would like to know what it's like to create a full-fledged Cyberpunk character in the upcoming game Cyberpunk Red, check out our stream tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's go around the table. Cast, tell us who you are, where people can find you on the internet, post all the links to your socials. Before I leave it to you, thank you to all of our sponsors again tonight. Found Familiar, Mage Hand Press, Roll20, of course, and our partners through the Diceomancy program, Level Up Dice. Let's do opposite from our intro. So we'll begin with Tanya.
Hello. My name's Tanya. I am your DM/GM for these shenanigans on Thursdays. So I'm actually going to DM over on Rivals of Waterdeep on Sunday. We're doing 2 one-shots in between the end of Season 6 and the start of Season 7. I am taking the Rivals to Hell. Join us at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern for 3 hours of mayhem and an infernal goose chase, and I mean that literally. And then we will have a guest player, Masood Hake, who you may know from J Speller and Must Die. He's joining us, so we will have a full cast plus Masood, and I'll be tweeting all that out as well as D&D as well. So twitch.tv/D&D on Sunday, and then next Thursday we are back here for this season's finale of chasing our wayward apostate and having a cold cut, barely TOS fun times.
And maps.
And breaking maps.
Mm-hmm.
Much to Devin Rue's
Thanks for throwing me under the bus there, Simon.
I could have said, hey, I'm not a cartographer. I didn't know maps don't snap in half. It's my fault.
I just thought she'd be interested, and then I blew the surprise. Because that's what I do.
Next season it's just like Breaking Bad, but with Mavia and maps instead. It's like a whole empire of maps. Okay, go ahead.
Next up will be Eugenio.
Hey everybody, I'm Eugenio, DM Jazzy Hands. I'm on Twitter at DM Jazzy Hands, the DM and producer of an actual play D&D podcast called The Last Refuge. New episodes every Wednesday. You should check us out at DND Last Refuge on Twitter. Let's see what else. Here on Thursdays, very excited for a little break and then to get to season 2. So yay for that. Wednesday nights I'm over on Little Red Dots channel playing a game of Overlight. I think we're halfway through our season over there. So we got 4 more episodes and each one is a sort of little microcosm adventure on each of the 7 shards from the Overlight setting. So even if you've missed the first 4, you should join us for the last 4. Other than that, I have been playing Dragon Age Origins and streaming it on my channel. So if you don't know some of these characters or just want to watch me hit on Zevran with my dwarf character, you can join me on there. I'm going to try and be regular about doing Dragon Age on stream on Thursday and Friday afternoons at 2 p.m. Eastern. So come hang out.
Kelly.
Oh wait, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the overlay.
I didn't pass it off. I'm sorry. It was all me. I'm so sorry.
No.
Good job. Good job. No, it's okay. First, we only live like 15 miles apart, and even before the pandemic, Eugenio never wanted to see me.
Okay, but hold on a second. 15 miles in New York is
it's
like
true.
15,000.
I know. Hi, I'm Kelly. I am the Opera Geek. You can follow me at the Opera Geek wherever fine beverages are sold, except Facebook and YouTube, where someone got it first. You can find me here on Thursdays, at least until next week. Tuesdays, I'm also here on The Witcher, playing a much more serious character than Mavia. She's I can't tell if she's even a good person at this point. Wednesdays, I'm on my channel streaming, apparently now, Elder Scrolls Online with Devin Rue, where you can meet my Khajiit sorcerer named Elizabeth Cattery that I spent 20 minutes trying to knock things off of like tall shelves with, and was very angry that I couldn't. I think that's it for me right now. I don't have much else going on now that Tales from the Mist is done and I survived. Yay! That's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Anderful1. You also find me here on Thursdays with this wonderful bunch of people doing what we do. And that's pretty much it. I can't wait for season 2. I'm really eager to see. I mean, I want to see what happens next episode, but like when we all take a break and all come back, I'm really excited that that's going to happen. That would be about it. Next.
Oh, hey, that's me. Hey, y'all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Praxagora Thesmophoria, as you see me hanging out on Twitch. Hey, Tanya, can I say something?
Sure.
Can I peel the curtain back for a second?
Sure.
This episode is what happens when you have really weird dreams and then share them with your DM.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there.
To be fair, all I told Tanya was maybe is hiding under the bed. That was.
I mean, this is why you need to share with your DM, people. Share fun things and strange things that happen with your DM, and then your DM can do wonderful, wonderful things and have lots of fun. I support all of this, by the way.
Yeah. These shenanigans brought to you.
Brought to you by sharing with your GM, which is a great thing to do. And because your GMs are wonderful people and they're playing at the table too. This is my PSA for helping and telling stories together. Okay. As for me, you can find me here tomorrow for creation of wonderful Jess, hi. Creation of wonderful new characters and seeing what Trends looks like in the actual real rules of Cyberpunk Red, which could be very interesting. And then on Saturday, I'm back here at 1 o'clock Eastern as we have our first episode of our Rapscallion campaign, Black Flag, and it's gonna be juicy. I get to run the DM seat on that one, and I can't wait for you all to see what comes out of that. But other than that, check my Twitter because I always post where I'm going to be, all the fun things I get to do, and all the wonderful people I get to hang out with.
And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Last Minute Raiders. But unfortunately, we are done for tonight. We will see you again next week for the finale. And in the meantime, stay safe. And we will see you all. I will see you all tomorrow here. But we'll see you again next Thursday for some Thirsty Thursdays. Ciao, everyone.
Can I share a piece of good news I just saw on Twitter from a friend?
Sure.
I just want to, I don't know if Anna's watching or if she's still overwhelmed with all well wishes, but my friend Anna is a doctor now. She got her PhD. She was confirmed by her.
Oh, I'm so
So-
glad.
Yes. So
yes.
she shared on Twitter like a few minutes ago and I just saw it. So, and if you watch this episode later, or if you're not at home going, oh God, I'm done. Congratulations.
It'll be a surprise extra congratulations if she watches it like a month from now.
Yeah.
She'll be like,
Yes.
oh man.
She's
And
probably like,
actually-
oh God, I'm gonna drink.
Actually, I could kind of say something cool. I don't know like how many people will know about it, but there's a really fantastic opera composer named Anthony Davis. And I was lucky enough to be in the workshop of his Central Park 5 opera in 2016 as the district attorney, which I hated her. Great work of music, but terrible character. But Anthony just won a Pulitzer Prize for the opera.
Nice.
Yeah, for the finished version after the workshop, and You go check it out if you don't know anything about the case. Please read up on it. It's an important part of American history. And yeah, I think it's awesome that Anthony got the Pulitzer for it. Yay.
And on those good news, we are going to go. Ciao, everyone.
Bye.